Back up to you guys.
Boy, Joe's lost in the crowd down there.
Leave it to Joe. He knows how to have a good time, always has.
First play of the second half, trailing by 2 touchdowns, is Randy Garcia. Under center with a full house set. He'll hand it off the right side, sweeping the right side. It's James Wallace, and Wallace has a couple. They loaded up the backfield.
Yeah, they have. That was a fine play by the middle linebacker, C.A. Hill. Made the initial hit on that, closed the hole, and allowed his fellow defenders to make some gang tackling there. Paul, I think that if the Centurions are going to get back in this ball game, it's going to have to be in the third quarter. There's an increasing breeze kicking up off the Atlantic here now. It's at their backs in this third quarter. It's going to be tough sledding. If they're behind 14 points going into the fourth quarter against that wind, you can write it off. So they've got to do something this quarter.
Loose ball in the backfield, bobbled by Brandon, and L.A. appeared to go at the bottom of the pile and come up with it. They did. They're running a full house set, 3 backs behind the quarterback Garcia, and the timing is not right.
Now, clearly a broken play. Either the fullback or the tailback went the wrong way. They had a busted play there, and they're fortunate to get the ball back.
Well, facing once again 3rd and long, a situation which plagued him in the first half. Here comes that 32-year-old quarterback who starred for the University of Nebraska a decade ago, and Randy Garcia to throw. He eludes the sack. Fires incomplete. Looking for Kenny Moore, who was double covered at the Miami 47.
Not much time to throw the ball. Garcia made a fine play, eluding the tackle, the sack. Taking a look at it, you're going to see him get hit here by Willie Jones, I believe. Ducks under it. Nice play, but no chance for completion there. Kenny Moore well covered. Forces a punting situation.
And the punt by Brandon, who averaged but 20 yards a kick in the first half. What a boomer this is. That's a 65-yard punt. Brandon averaged but 20.3 yards per punt in the first half. His first effort is a howitzer of 65.
He caught all of that one, and again, he's kicking with the wind. That breeze is becoming a factor.
It'll be brought out to the 20, so the net effect is 45. And opening the second half is Jonas Sears. He scored a touchdown in the second quarter and also threw the 2-point conversion to Schottenheimer.
He did. He played very well in the first half.
He's about Bob Kuchenberg's age.
I'll buy that, just about.
At 36. Schottenheimer drops this one. And Sears falls on it. Dennis Fanning, a 220-pound defensive end, falls on Jonas. They lose 6 on the play. Just put it right in.
He handed it right through the breadbasket there. I don't really know. It seemed like it was a little bit low. Basically bounced off Schottenheimer's thigh pads.
Both teams rusty after that prolonged halftime show.
Well, perhaps rigor mortis is setting in.
Second and 16. Gaping hole up to the 20-21 yard line for double zeros and a Hawk Mile. 240-pounder. Ross Geller, a linebacker, 195-pounder, makes the stop on Big Hawk Mile. Look at the hole. There's a Kuchenberg gap on the right side.
Well, what happened there, I think the defensive end of the Centurions had a game on. He sent it down to the inside, and it didn't work. It was wide open.
3rd and 9, receivers either side. Here is Sears. In trouble. Down he goes. The sack by Henry Cousins, the defensive tackle. 250-pound weight trainer. Came fighting through and took him down. Number 30, the first man there, and the job cleaned up by Mel Vance, the other defensive tackle.
Well, you're looking at it now. You're seeing a little high-fiving and headbutting by the Centurion defense. They're getting that enthusiasm going, trying to generate something. As well, they better, because they're about to get the ball back in Miami territory for the first time with a good win at their back. Very short punt here.
And taken by George Lopez. Off the kick by Silvani into that wind. It sailed only 26 yards, Bob.
Excellent field position for Los Angeles on the 37, 36-yard line with the wind at their backs. If they're going to get back into the ball game, Paul, they'd better make their move.
Yeah, right here. So a man who's had a long evening. And number 7, Randy Garcia, trailing by 2 touchdowns, has a golden opportunity laid at his feet with the football marked at the 36-yard line and 11:06 remaining in the third quarter. He's completed but 1 pass for 9 yards in a dozen attempts. Good size on it, 6'3", 205.
He needs Joe Rose back in uniform.
From the eye set, maybe calling the play at the line of scrimmage, a prolonged count. To the tailback. Fighting through. It's Wallace. Wallace still on his feet with the first down at the 25-yard line. Good, determined running. And it is Davis, Gary Davis, who makes the stop, number 96, a gain of 12.
I tell you what, this is all ball carrier. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage, breaks 1, 2 tackles, a 3rd tackle there. This man should have been stopped for a 4-yard loss. Another tackle there. Breaks about 5 or 6 tackles. Excellent running. That was all ball carrier.
Out of Dorsey High School. Inside handoff, John McKnight. John McKnight to the 5. John McKnight for a touchdown. Touchdown, Los Angeles. A 25-yard run. It is Wallace for 12 and McKnight for 25. They go 37 yards up the gut in 2 snaps.
Big play on the ground. You can see a big hole here on the right side. There was a stunt on in the Magnum Force. You know what's interesting, Paul, is that you're seeing a new set of running backs for Los Angeles, and both the 24 and 34 Wallace have had effective runs. So maybe the change in chemistry will bode well for LA in the second half.
John Dole to attempt to pull the Centurions within a touchdown. He nails the extra point. It's timeout on the field. And Los Angeles, in their second possession of the second half, has driven for their first touchdown.
How can you not fall in love with something that looks so good?
Through tackles.
Big, strong John McKnight. Well, we picked it up right there, Paul. The homework, I mean, it was already done. What had happened was the right tackle had made an excellent block and sprung that ball early.
Joe Rose, Los Angeles has awakened.
We have a very happy Chief Gates here from the LAPD right now. Chief, a great drive right there.
A great drive, and I'll be much happier when we're ahead. We gave you 14 points because you've been such great hosts, and we want to make sure that we repaid you. Now we repaid you, now we're going to beat you.
Well, let me ask you this. Getting away from the game, have you enjoyed yourself so far?
I have. Miami Police Department and Metro-Dade have been great hosts. All the people here have been just wonderful. It's a super crowd. We're delighted to be here. I think it's an exciting evening.
You mentioned earlier to me, you thought to start the game that the team was a little in awe of the big crowd. They weren't expecting this size crowd.
Oh, no question about it. We were told that there'd be a nice sized crowd, but this is an enormous crowd, and I think it was a little intimidating at first. We're trying to get our wheels back under us. I think this second half is going to be a good ball game. Both good teams, good sports out there, and it's really doing something for law enforcement, bringing us together.
Well, Chief, I'd like to thank you, and back up to you guys.
Thank you, Joe. Good job.
The Chief put it well there, Paul, bringing us all together. That's what it's all about, huh?
Here's Nat Kuntz. As Sears opened the second half, and there's a hole open for Tyrone White, then closes quickly as he hits the 25-yard line.
If I were the quarterback, Paul, I would dance with what brung me. I would go back to Tyrone White and more specifically Bill Hellman. Good yardage here by White. Hellman had a decent run and play before that, but Hellman had a spectacular first half, and I would go back to Old Reliable until they stopped it.
Lamar Bell, the linebacker, on the stop there. It's 3rd and 4 with 9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Has Kuntz with Hellman right behind him. Takes the snap, fakes to Hellman, and now is in trouble, and he'll have to punt. LA's defense has stuffed Miami, and they'll get the football back in pretty good field position. You recall the dominance of the Miami specialty teams in the first half. Then Silvani has that 26-yard punt. 2 plays later, LA scores. Well, look at this. They're going to get the ball near midfield as Silvani retreats to punt again.
And Los Angeles had a 65-yard punt in there also. Again, the wind is a big factor and will be for the remainder of this game.
Silvani gets it away, tumbles it into the air, and this is Richmond trying to pick up blockers. A solid tackle, knocks him down at his own 46. It's a 32-yard punt, and the stop made by Ron Gilbert, the linebacker.
And a fine stop it was. I could hear that one up here. Big hit.
1st and 10 for Miami, or rather Los Angeles, excuse me. And Garcia has been ice cold. Sooner or later, you'd believe that the law of averages would prove that Garcia was good enough to start for a Big 8 champion at Nebraska.
I anticipate him keeping the ball on the ground right now. They met with success last series. He got a couple of big, strong backs in there.
And he does. This is Wallace. 1, maybe 2. The top of the pile is Greg Benjamin. At the bottom of the stack, David Richards, number 99. He's a big fella, 6'4", 240, out of Southwest Miami High School. 98-2 taking him on, or 96 rather, Gary Davis. It's a pretty good defense right there, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the strong part of the defense is the linebacking core, particularly the 2 middle linebackers, C.A. Hill and Gary Davis.
And these are all police officers, every single one of them. The toss sweep right side, Mason Burrows. And Burrows across midfield with the flag down and out of bounds at the Miami 46-yard line. And he is shaken up. Harry Allen, a 33-year-old defensive back, in on the stop.
I think we may have a blocking, a crackback block, illegal blocking here of some sort. It's going to go against Los Angeles.
It's Greg Benjamin rather than Allen. Yep. Burrows appears to be all right. Up walking around.
That was a big one, Paul. That hurt. Instead of a 9-yard gain, it turns into a 15-yard loss.
And pushes him back to the 31-yard line. 2nd down. Close to 20 yards to go. Los Angeles must not only cross midfield, but reach the Miami 43. Garcia with back split behind him on 2nd down. To throw. The rush and the sack. Willie Jones in the grass, back at the 25-yard line.
Willie Jones having an excellent ball game tonight. He's been all over Randy Garcia. This is his 3rd sack, I believe, and he's had a couple of up right-hand side of your screen here. He's going to beat the left tackle and the halfback. Nothing was going to stop him. That's his 3rd sack, I believe, and he's had a couple of other hurries. Willie Jones is dominating this line of scrimmage this evening.
It's a loss of 11.
That's not the Indianapolis Colts.
Florida Colts.
Playing like he could play for Indianapolis, though, tonight.
He sure could. You see the sack total as Garcia has Jones coming again and throws it over the head of his screen man on the near left side and James Wallace. And Willie hurried the screen.
Not a bad call, though. I mean, they're trying to take advantage of the pass rush of Willie Jones, and sure enough, there it was. Had the ball been a little bit better thrown, he had some blockers in front of him. I think he had some yardage here. But you're right, Paul. Maybe he was rushed a little bit too much by Willie Jones.
He had 2 men out.
He sure did.
In single safety, Tyrone White and Brandon to punt it. Got a 65-yarder a while back. This one is a towering punt, angled toward the right boundary, away from White. It will be ruled out of bounds at the Miami 41. That's a 32-yard effort for number 31. And those are police officers.
And Joe Rose has got to be somewhere nearby, right?
He's already visited with them this evening.
Oh, I see. I should have known.
We have a 1-visit rule, and it's necessary when Joe Rose is working the sideline.
strictly enforced.
Yes, Metro Miami leading the Centurions of Los Angeles by a touchdown. 5:41 to go in period number 3. Kuntz remains in at quarterback, the all-time leading passer in Florida A&M history. Let's go. On the end around, bobbling the ball, Tyrone White. Loose ball, White falls on it. That could have been a disastrous situation for Miami. Memo Reyes is credited with the tackle. And Joe Rose down on the field. What you got?
I'm with defensive lineman Art Wellens, who's played a heck of a ball game to this point for the Metro team here, or excuse me, the South Florida team, I should call it. What do you think so far?
I think what we need to do is apply more pressure on them, and then we'll force them out of the game, and we'll be successful.
Are you guys wearing down at all? This is the only game you played this year.
No, we're in pretty good shape. All year long, we run to do some kind of physical activity just to maintain that condition. So we're in pretty good shape.
Well, it's been a heck of a ball game so far.
Yeah, they're supposed to be the #1 team in the world, in the nation, in terms of police football, but they realizing that we're serious.
Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, he absolutely is serious, isn't he, Bob? As Tyrone White gets up, Lopez, the linebacker, in on the stop, setting up 3rd down.
No question about it. They're all very serious. They take a lot of pride and a lot of honor on the line here. But what I see developing, Paul, is that the second half, Miami Metro has been sloppy. They've had several missed connections on pitches. They're just not playing good offensive football.
Mike Terratola out of your picture, the far left side. And on 3rd and 18, the sweep to the left side to Tyrone White, trying to turn the corner, runs through a tackler, and is belted out of bounds at the 38-yard line. 12 yards shy of the first down, so here comes Joseph Silvani to punt. George Lopez with another tackle. Lopez has made a bunch this evening.
Well, this isn't a bad call. You're probably not going to get your first down here. It's a fine effort. He had a good block by Glenn Theobald out in front of him here. He got back some of the yardage, but you'll notice that Nate Kuntz is not putting the ball up in the 3rd quarter, and I think the reason is it's against the wind. There's a brisk breeze, and you might see more of it in the 4th quarter.
A poor punt. Richmond picks it up. Richmond is up to the 40-yard line. Willie Bell, a defensive back for Miami, knocked down Ty Richmond after an 8-yard return. That's only a 30-yard punt.
I'll tell you what, though, that was a fine effort by Willie Bell. He defeated 2 blockers and made the tackle. If he doesn't make that tackle, there's at least 15, 20 yards more. A fine individual effort by Willie Bell.
We may get Joe Rose to check on this, but I believe that Joseph Silvani has hurt himself. His right hamstring, he appeared to aggravate his last punt. He was limping noticeably when he came off the field that time. We'll update you on that in a moment. John McKnight up to the 44-yard line. And it's Larry Jackson on the snap.
Tell you what, Paul, I'm very impressed with John McKnight. This man, I don't really know his background, but I'll tell you what, he's carried the football before. He's got a natural rhythm. He's a good, strong runner. Both McKnight and Wallace, I'm more impressed with this backfield than I was with the starting backfield in the first half.
McKnight owns the only touchdown for Los Angeles this evening, that 25-yard run early in the second half. 2:26 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Garcia under intense heat. Well, it's incomplete to Randy Ryan, the flanker. He thought he was interfered with by Greg Benjamin. And it went incomplete at midfield. Or Marcel Mackin there, too. It was Mackin. And Ryan, 5'11", 175, just as the ball arrived, so did Mackin. And Garcia still has, by our account, 1 completion. And look at the heat.
Yeah, Garcia, in his behalf, he may be having a dismal night, but he doesn't have a whole lot of time to make his decision. On the other hand, not to overdo a point, but if he's going to throw the ball, he better do it the remainder of this quarter.
3rd and 5. The quick out of the backfield, Wallace. And Wallace hauled down at the 44-yard line. Fine defensive play by Gary Davis. The linebacker, one-on-one with the backfield, with the running back, rather, in the flat.
Gary's had a fine football game tonight. Several key tackles. Both he and C.A. Hill combined to give the Miami Metro Dade an excellent middle linebacking team.
Joe, what you got down on the field?
Joe Silvani has a pulled groin right now. They don't know if he'll go back in or not. It doesn't appear to be serious, though. Back up to you guys.
Serious, though, Joe, if he can't kick again. Brandon pulls it down after the high snap. He won't earn the first down. He's tackled at the 43-yard line. Bob Kuchenberg, I don't believe that was a fake. I think that he was getting pressure following the high snap, so he decided to take off.
Yeah, and I question his decision. It's easy for me to say it up here, but I think he had time to get it off, and he had no shot of getting the first down unless he thought perhaps that Miami Metro was not going to be looking for it. He had one tackler and three more standing behind waiting to nail him.
Well, Miami has the football. 1st and 10 with 1:20 remaining in the third quarter. And the Magnum Force from South Florida also owns a touchdown lead. Coons rolling right, looking to throw, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ty Richmond. Richmond at the 17-yard line. And I'm very impressed with him. He's quite an athlete.
He covers a lot of ground. It reminds me of Willie Mays out there in center field. I'll tell you, a lot of athletic ability. First of all, in Nate Coons here with the sprint out and then on the run, throwing it about 50 yards on a frozen rope. And then Ty Richmond coming over at the last minute and making an excellent interception, taking it away from Pedro Peterman. A lot of athletic ability, Paul, on the field tonight.
Peterman, he had there the veteran tight end, veteran in terms of this game, along with Mike Teratola, who's not touched the football tonight.
I'll tell you what, Nate Coons had to be very surprised in getting intercepted there because that was a fine play, and it took a fine play to prevent that completion.
Garcia to the boundary. He's got it wide open. Rory Coulette. Coulette at the 40. Coulette to the 36-yard line. A big hitter, Kirk Mickens on the stop. Coulette, a high school All-American and a great wide receiver. He played at Mount Carmel High School, and look at Garcia connect with him. Right over Tom Laura, the defensive back.
Yep, just poor coverage on Tom Laura's part, but an excellent play on Kirk Merkins, Kirk Merkins to prevent the touchdown. If he doesn't make this tackle, it's a tie ball game.
A gain of 46 yards. Inside handoff. Nets Little for the running back, and John Franklin, Joe Rose. What you got, that on the sideline?
Right now we're with Rodney Barreto, who helps co-sponsor this, helps raise monies here in South Florida to keep this event alive. You guys have done a great job, Rodney.
Thank you, Joe. It's most exciting. We have a great attendance. I think it really outdid what we expected, and we're very pleased at this point.
Any idea how much money you will raise for this event?
I think we had pre-game we had 10,000 seats sold. That's equivalent to 50,000. So we're way above the 50,000 mark. So,
well, great job well done, and back up to you guys.
Thank you.
And on that note, the third quarter is history. We go to the fourth and final period. It's a ball game again and more. Coulette's reception of 40 yards had
America in 1989.
And it is Randy Garcia bringing Los Angeles back. It is 2nd and 11 at the 37, and Garcia wants to go to the air. Over the middle, he has it complete to Coulette again, and that's a first down. Coulette, who had the big gainer of 46 on this drive, now picks up a first down reception on the gain of 11.
And Garcia now no longer throwing off his rear foot, putting some momentum, some zip on the ball, throwing with a lot of confidence. Look to the right, and you'll see him looking off to the right here, then quickly turns to the left and hits his man. An excellent throw. Garcia is a different quarterback this half. He's playing with a lot of confidence.
Joe, what you got down on the field?
Well, we're back down here again with Dale Osmond from Motorola. And Dale, you guys made a big pledge of $30,000.
Yeah, Joe. In addition to sponsoring this event, far too many people have fallen in the line of duty in protecting, the lives and property in South Florida. And Motorola has contributed $30,000 to the Law Enforcement Memorial Trust Fund for the police officers in Washington, D.C. And we're happy to be able to do that and also sponsor this grand event.
Well, I'll tell you, we'd love to keep you active in this. It's because of people like yourself and Motorola that these things happen. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, and thanks too to Motorola. That's John Franklin on the carry, Ernie Jones on the stop.
Excellent run by John Franklin, Paul. Big, strong runner, and the LA Centurions are gathering steam.
Yep, Moore left, Ryan right, and off the counter, this is Wallace. Wallace, maybe a yard. That defensive middle has stiffened a bit, and a flag goes down. After the play was over, we have a personal foul against LA. After the play was whistled dead. A dead ball foul.
Well, I can't understand that. All I saw was the offender helping the other fellow up. He should have at least have 5 yards taken off the penalty for helping him up.
The foul. White, 15 yards.
It pushes them all the way back to the Miami 33. A big break for the Magnum Force. And frustrating for Jerry Bennett, the retired Los Angeles police sergeant and head coach. LAPD Centurions. You see the penalties that are mounting here in the second half.
Now that was a dumb play. That was unnecessary after the ball. It was after substantial gain. Now it's 3rd and 18.
Collette and Ryan to the bottom of your picture. Garcia on 3rd and 18 with the full blitz coming. He gets it off. It is Collette at the 25. Collette to the 18-yard line. Important for, although he does not pick up the first down, they may have an opportunity here for a Dole field goal if he's as good as advertised, and they're going to send him on.
A big difference here in the first half. The same blitz package up the gut, the free safety, the strong safety, middle linebacker all coming, and LA was playing right into their hands in the first half. They've made an adjustment. They now recognize it. They're holding their blocking backs in, that are picking up the safeties, allowing their quarterback time to hit the wide receiver.
John Dole with a 42-yard effort. Steep angle to his left, and a timeout has been taken. And the timeout was taken by LA. They will have 2 remaining. They've frozen their own kicker. But I believe that Garcia wanted to talk to the head coach and Jerry Bennett to make certain this is what they want to do. Down on the field, Joe Rose standing by while we have this timeout.
Cooch, it can't be all work. It wouldn't be any fun if that was the case. I'm here with the Metro Miami cheerleaders, a beautiful group of gals that have donated their time to help make this a special event. Girls, who's going to win this game in the 4th quarter? Back up to you guys. Back up top.
Tough work, Joe. Tough work. Just hang in there, buddy. You can do it.
He's pretty good at this stuff. What you know, when he's surrounded by police officers, it would come in that form and fashion.
Leave it to Joe.
Wait till the guys out in Berkeley see him. Monday night, the Bulls and the Hatters, the University of South Florida, against Glenn Wilkes. Stetson Hatters, what a great coach Wilkes is. Let's see what kind of field goal kicker John Dole is from 42 yards out. He gets it away. He's got the distance. It hit the upright. It hit the upright on the right side.
Heartbreak.
He had plenty of leg from 42 yards out.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed. This is against a stiff breeze, 42 yards out. See how high up it hits the upright. I mean, that would have been good from 60 yards against the wind. That is a strong leg.
It will be placed at the 20-yard line. And that is where Miami will take over. Timeout on the field, 12:19 to go in the game. And it's Miami leading LA 14-. Reporter Joe Rose and our expert analyst Bob Kuchenberg. I'm Paul Kennedy. While we were away, Metro Miami ran a pair of plays, netted 7. They face 3rd and 3 here from their 27 with just over 11 minutes to go in the football game. Miami leading 14-7. The toss sweep deep to Tyrone White, and White cannot pick up the first down. In fact, Bob, he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage as Brennan Booth knocks him off his feet.
Excellent play by Brennan Booth, and some pretty fine defensive overall being displayed by Los Angeles here in the second half. And the momentum in this game, clearly, Paul, has swung, and we've got a horse race on our hands here.
Joseph Silvani battling that pulled groin. You saw him laying prone on the sideline a moment ago. Let's see how he kicks here. Well, he got off a decent punt. This is Ty Richmond. The 45, 46-yard line. the defensive back. Fifth-year man, 8-yard return, 34-yard kick. Still plenty of time for something to happen. As Gonzalez ran down and made the tackle for Metro Miami. And I've been very impressed throughout this evening, and I find myself forgetting the fact that these are regular line officers for both Los Angeles and Miami's police departments.
I agree with you. You tend to think that you're watching a major college game or an NFL game, and you forget these are amateurs that make their living carrying guns.
Garcia warming up. The big catch of 42 yards, the major portion of that 66-yard passing total. The toss sweep left side, back into the game, Burrows. Oh, down goes Burrows, a nice, solid hit.
C.A. Hill puts a big-time hit. He's going to cut up here, and number 51 is going to be waiting for him right here. Boom! Head in the numbers. That's how they draw it up. Now I know why Coach Buckman has been raving about his two middle linebackers.
Popped a chin strap, did C.A. 34 years young, played at Southeast Louisiana, was their defensive MVP in his college days there.
I can see why.
Big guy, 240-pounder. Played at South Dade High School as well. Second and 9. Garcia to his tailback. This is Wallace. Wallace into the churner and near midfield. And we can easily observe, Bob Kuchenberg, that the intensity level has been increased here. They're realizing, as both teams are, with a great deal of pride on the line, 9 minutes remaining, that this drive or the next couple are going to decide the issue.
Well, I think that's perhaps that LA came in here a little bit overconfident. Maybe they had been reading their press clippings a little bit and were surprised by the ferocity of the Magnum Force in the first half. But they've come to play ball here in the second half, and they're making a gallant comeback.
On 3rd and 6, Garcia, if he can get away from the pass rush. Throws it up there. It is caught. That is a legal completion to midfield, hauling it in John Franklin. Garcia miraculously getting it away. Gilbert, the linebacker, in on the stop. Still 5 yards, 6 yards shy of the first down.
I'm not sure if that was a two-handed shot put or a set shot from basketball, but it was a combination of all. It was great effort by Garcia here to get rid of this thing. Kind of reminded me of what Kenny Stabler did to us, Miami Dolphins, in 1974.
Was that to Clarence Davis? Who hauled that in?
Clarence Davis, indeed, only that one ended up in the end zone in the final seconds and broke our heart and our chance to go to the 3rd straight Super Bowl.
A bad snap. Brandon tumbles it into the sky. The catcher's made. This is Laura coming to the boundary. Laura all the way upfield to the 40-yard line. Poor punts usually result in great return. Henry Cousins on the stop. An 18-yard return by Tom Laura, a 29-year-old SWAT officer who angled to the boundary after making the catch.
Some good smart running here. Avoiding the first tackler, then out racing. Good block, peel back block there. Didn't catch a number, but he knew how to run east and west.
Henry Cousins in on the stop. 7:49 to go in the game. Miami leading 14-7. And they'll pound the middle. Bill Hellman with Henry Cousins, the defensive tackle, on the stop. Back to Joe Rose.
I'm now with the biggest fan, or excuse me, I should say the smallest fan here today that's rooting for Metro, I guess. His name's Nick. Check this outfit out. Nick, what do you think of the game so far?
It's neat.
It's neat, he said. Have you been watching it?
Yeah.
Who do you want to win?
Metro.
Metro. Okay, well, we got the world's smallest fan here today. He wants Metro. Back up to you guys.
He looks good in those colors, doesn't he? On 2nd and 8, the deep handoff. And spinning, fighting. Maybe 2 or 3 yards. That's Curtis Lee Hicks on the carry. 5'8", 170-pounder. Here's a guy that's hardly touched the football today, or rather Michael Coward on the carry there. At Auburn graduate.
Did he play ball at Auburn?
Yeah, he did. He was pretty darn good, too. He really was.
Some pretty decent running backs to come out of Auburn.
Tim Jesse, fellow up in Green Bay right now.
Fellow that masquerades for the Raiders and the and the Kansas City Royals, I believe.
Yes. On 3rd and 8. This is Kuntz. Scrambling. Firing. Open. Terratola. Terratola to the 34-yard line. His first reception. And it's a huge one. Mike Terratola, a gain of 23. Booth on the stop. What a scramble.
Chalk that up to pure physical ability by Nate Kuntz. Scrambling around, buying time. This is all physical ability. You can't teach this. Now on the run, a frozen rope, big play to Terratola, and excellent field position for Magnum Force.
A gain of 23. Certainly a highlight in the second half for the Magnum Force of Miami. That's the first down. They lost the football. They lost the football. Inconsistency pounding away at the foundation of the Miami Magnum Force.
Well, they're playing football like police officers. What in the world is this? Yep, that's a typical quarterback center exchange. Don't know whether the quarterback pulled out early or the center was late in the snap. But I'll tell you what, it's often taken for granted. That's an automatic. But when you have a 250 or 300-pound nose tackle beating you severely about the head and shoulders, sometimes it's difficult to get that ball to the quarterback.
What a huge break for Los Angeles. It comes with 5:35 remaining. They trail by a touchdown. Garcia deep right away, and it's caught. First down, Kenny Moore, his first reception. A gain of 20 yards. What a tremendous turnaround.
Big play for Los Angeles. I'm not sure whether he got 1 or 2 feet in. Let's look closely here. There's 1 foot in. I'm not sure whether they require 1 or 2 feet, but we'll see. I believe his first foot is in bounds. There it is, and the other one is out of bounds. And I'm not sure about that, but it stands.
They're playing by college rules.
And I believe that's a valid catch.
A valid catch. Just like Seymour pulled him in from Hanratty at your alma mater when you were there.
This is true.
1 foot in.
This is true.
1st and 10. Now in Miami territory with the game on the line. Garcia to the sideline. They run a pick. They get away with it. It's Kenny Moore to the 35-yard line.
Paul, it's amazing. We are seeing an absolutely different Randy Garcia. Is this the same quarterback that was tentative and unsure of himself in the first half?
Yeah, you're right, Bob.
He's throwing into the face of a stiff breeze, throwing left, throwing right, looking off the coverage, playing with a lot of confidence. I'm not sure what was said to him at halftime, but whatever it was, it worked.
A gain of 10. Benjamin on the stop. Watch this. Stands in the pocket, guns it, and look at the crossing route.
Throwing off the front foot like he was not doing in the first half. The Magnum Force defense is going to be hard-pressed to keep this offense out of the end zone in the second half.
They got but 9. Just shy of the first down. It will be second down rather than first. You go back to Terratola's big grab of 23. It appeared that this game could be put on ice by Miami. They turn it over 2 plays later. LA is threatening as we take this timeout. With but 1. They've used their second. They trail 14-7 with 5:04 remaining in the game. It is second down and a yard to go. And LA has moved the ball to the Miami 36-yard line.
Might be interesting, Paul, to see what a confident Randy Garcia. This is a give-up down. You got 2 chances to get 1 yard here. This might be a time to go for it all.
Garcia spreads the field. Indeed, he will throw. Out of the backfield quickly. First down, solid grab, and Jeff Stewart, the tight end, holds on as Greg Benjamin pops him down to Joe Rose.
When you talk about momentum changes, we've seen a drastic one here today. You can see by the sideline here for the Metro Miami police team, football team, they're struggling a little bit right now. Things are definitely going for LAPD right now. Throw it back up to you. Let's see what happens the rest of this quarter.
Look at the replay here. This is the 6th first down of this half for LA as the grab is made by Stewart. Only 1 first down in this entire half for Miami, who's reeling right now. Garcia throwing, open, first down, Moore to the 17-yard line. They're getting more of the football as McPhee, the defensive back, must make the tackle.
And again, the big difference, Paul, is Randy Garcia. We saw him throwing low, throwing high in the first half. Right now he's confident, strong, he's right on the money, and that's the difference. A lot of pressure being applied by Randy Garcia and his offensive teammates.
Their last 3 possessions have been nothing like this. And Garcia is now 9 of 21 for 114 yards. That means he's hit 8 of his last 9. For he'd connected on only 1 of his first 12. Play action, rolling deep, firing out of the backfield. It's caught for a gain of 3. The stop made by Laura, the reception by Brandon, who's hot right now.
A very difficult reception made by Brandon here. He catches the ball just about laying flat in his back, getting hit at the same time. Only a 3-yard gain, but that's better than nothing, I guess, Paul.
A sustained effort by Los Angeles, the tradition-rich Centurions. In their 10th year, they are 27-3 in such exhibition games that are played with ferocity. They face 2nd and 7 with 3:15 remaining in the game. This is their 6th play of this march. They've covered 50 yards. They set up the screen. Wide open, Stewart inside the 10. Stewart touchdown. Woo! They threw back against the rush in. As Willie Jones crashed, they threw back to the tight end, and Stewart has the touchdown.
Somebody did not stay home here. Quarterback looking to the right. He must have looked off the coverage. Willie Jones applying pressure there, as you see, but wide open. A great job of keeping his balance there by 85 Jeff Stewart on into the end zone. He was not to be denied. Interesting here. Now, what are we doing? We're going to tie up the ball game, figuring that
you can get it back.
Get it back or go into overtime, huh?
Or get Dole to kick a field goal. Remember, Miami only has 1 first down, Bob, in this half. The snap, the spot, the kick is perfect. Tie ball game, 3:03 remaining. Don't go anywhere. The fantastic finish ahead in this, the 6th annual Pig Bowl from the Orange Bowl in Miami.
Monday night fight night at the 4.
This caps the 6-play drive.
Picture perfect. Tie ball game. We've got a 3-minute and 3-second football game on our hands here, Paul.
Garcia to Stewart from 15 yards out. Garcia, as you mentioned, Bob Kuchenberg, is far superior in this half to his effectiveness in the first 2 quarters.
What was his first half stats? Were what, 1 for 12?
1 for 12.
And he's like 10 for 11 this half.
Yeah, right on the money.
I think they must have put somebody else into that uniform.
Joe Namath, reincarnated 20 years later. Well, here is Dole to kick off. And this is a big series.
Now, talk to me about overtime. Is there overtime if necessary?
To be honest with you, I don't know. Dole kicks it along the ground. Bobbled around. That's a free ball. Picked up by Laura. Laura with daylight. Now knocked off his feet. Solid tackle made by Richmond on a return of 18 yards. The scoring drive was impressive. A half dozen plays covering 65 yards. And they're getting set on the sideline, huddling around their head coach and offensive staff.
Paul, I had seen Jonas Sears warming up in the sideline. I anticipated him going in there, but no. Nate Kuntz is the quarterback. He's the main man, and it's going to be up to him to win or lose this ball game.
Here is Kuntz with a single setback behind him. It's deflected. He gets his own pass back and gets back to the line of scrimmage as Gary Romo, the defensive end, number 99, had Big Bear, you see down there with his shirt tail out, put his arms up and batted it right back to Kuntz. The time remaining. Again, LA with a timeout left. Miami with 3. Hellman still on his feet. To midfield. First down, Miami. Richmond from behind. The defensive back on the tackle.
Excellent effort by Bill Hellman here. He's having an excellent football game tonight. Broke several tackles at the line of scrimmage, turned a 2 or 3 yard loss into a big first down gain. placing the ball squarely at midfield. And with a little more than 2 minutes left here, we've got quite a ball game, Paul.
Miami has called timeout. They will have 2 remaining. Tomorrow afternoon, live from the Leon County Civic Center in Tallahassee, 2 nationally ranked powers, Tennessee from the SEC and the Seminoles of Florida State. Join me at 2:30, along with Dave Reed and Coach Pat Kennedy, live for Sports Talk, and we'll tip it off at 3 o'clock. If you're interested in the Gasparilla Run in Tampa, that's the number for runners registration, 813-229-7866. Back to live action with 2:10 remaining. Kuntz under a heavy rush. Fires it up incomplete at the 36-yard line. He was looking for Jim Shannon, and George Lopez was defending in the secondary. He took a hit but stood in there to get it away, Bob.
He sure did, and he knew he was going to get hit, but he didn't short arm it, put the ball on the money. It was not complete, but you can see him grimacing there. That hurts, trying to throw a pass with a helmet between your ribs and a 250-pound man connected to that helmet.
That's about as even as you can imagine.
It doesn't get much evener than that.
2:06 to go, and the score reflects how evenly this game's been played. 14-all. Kuntz with time, over the middle, caught, first down. Lopez on the stop, the reception made by Luis Martinez.
2-minute warning. No, there is no 2-minute warning.
Martinez, the wide receiver, his first catch. The Costa Rica native.
Coach
Gain
Bruce Buckman was telling me that they have a 2-minute offense installed, and you're seeing it displayed here.
That's the Hawk, and Hawk Miles 0-0 work in the middle, and they're working the clock too. Paul Lopez on the tackle. Oh, Hawk takes that late handoff, and that clock continues to tick, Bob. A minute and a half to go.
I believe they have 3 timeouts left. 2 or 3 timeouts left.
Trying to work in position for a field goal. If not a touchdown. 4 receivers in the pattern, a single setback, and it is Hellman who takes the handoff, bursts into the secondary, and goes to the 14-yard line. Richmond on the stop. Hellman with a 17-yard carry.
Outstanding run. A lot of desire, almost runs right through that final tackle, breaking 2 tackles, almost breaking 3.
1:10 to go. Kuntz eludes a tackler, scrambling. He'll be sacked. The sack made by Henry Cousins, the defensive tackle, number 30.
Miami calling timeout to stop the clock with 1 minute and 1 second left.
A 14-14 tie as the quarterback, Nat Kuntz, is sacked. He got away from big number 99, Gary Romo, but not from Cousins. Well, Bob,
well,
you'd love to punch it in and not put it on the shoulders of one man to kick it through the way your special teams have struggled.
Especially when your one man has a bad hamstring and was languishing in pain earlier. Right now, Paul, it's a 37.5-yard field goal attempt. It's with the wind, so certainly it's doable, but I'm sure that they'd like to get the ball. They have a minute and they have 2 downs yet to try to get it a little closer. 37.5 certainly is no gimme. I'm sure they'd feel much more comfortable if they cut that down to 25 yards or so.
You recall that Luis Martinez made a fine reception earlier, his first. He is also a kicker. They might go to Martinez rather than Silvani, who has that pulled groin. Martinez hit from better than 40 yards out, we're told, in the pregame warm-ups. But I'm sure that they'd much rather punch it in.
And again, they're with the wind here.
Miami, Greater Miami Police Department, as Kuntz fires into the flat. This is White stumbling forward in Mark Clayton fashion. Hauled down by Lopez.
For a gain of 1 yard. A lot of effort, not much yardage.
36, 35, 34. Loose ball. LA has it. LA has recovered. The second poor quarterback-center exchange in the fourth quarter. And it's James Hart, who had a first-half interception, who earns his second turnover of the night.
Yeah, a lot of dejected faces coming to the Miami sideline there. A lot of hard work down the drain there. On the other hand, Los Angeles elated. You're right, Paul. It's a second consecutive center quarterback exchange problem. And you can't do much if you can't get the ball from the center.
4 turnovers, Bob, for Miami. 2 interceptions and a pair of fumbles. There are 17 seconds to go in the game. I believe a few seconds ran off the clock inadvertently, for there were better than 20 on the clock when that fumble occurred. We would anticipate that this would end up a tie, but we're being honest with you because we failed to ask if... now we're informed that they may go into overtime. We'll try and confirm that. As curious as you are.
It's interesting, Paul, to see if in fact there are only 17, if there's no prospect of overtime, what is Los Angeles going to do? They're 83 yards from pay dirt. To put it up, risked his interception. The chances of a successful long bomb are not good. If you put the ball up and Miami intercepts in your own field, they've got a breeze at their back.
We are informed that the overtime period will follow the format of 1AA college football, that each team will receive 4 tries from their opponent's 10-yard line. So that would affect exactly what Garcia is going to do. The Gasparilla run, 813-229-7866. Back to live action. Garcia more than likely to fall on it. Indeed, he does. We will go to overtime. The 6th annual Pig Bowl. The fans booing, believing the game is over. That is not the...
3 points, you do that on 4th down. You want to get 7 points because you don't know what Los Angeles is going to do with their 4 attempts after you give them the ball.
Nat Kuntz, twice late in the game, has turned it over. If he turns it over here, we go to the other end, and then you would see a quick 3-point. Nat under center. Rolls right. Looks, fires. He's got it complete for a touchdown!
I just saw a crushing block. I did not get the number, but I'm telling you, the wide receiver on the Magnum Force just peeled back and leveled the safety. You're going to see in the right-hand side of your screen here a crushing block. This enabled the ball carrier to get in the end zone.
Raj Hellman on the very first play in overtime.
I'm telling you, it's a big-time hit. Excellent throw here. Watch this block right here. Woo!
That is Richmond being absolutely leveled by a wide receiver from Miami. And that was Terratola.
Terratola, big play, Mike Terratola. Made a big play in the Metro game last year. This is a big point, by the way, this extra point.
It is good. It is indeed kicked by Martinez. 21-14. Now, LA will have 4 snaps from that same spot on the field. The reason you do it at the same place is so it's perfectly even. The weather conditions are
Wind
the same.
factor,
everything.
that's correct.
The field's the same.
The die is cast, and again, here's the advantage that LA has, although it may appear to be a disadvantage right now. Clearly, they know what they have to do. They've got to get 7 points, otherwise it's over. Now, can they get 8 points?
They could, couldn't they?
I suppose they could.
A heck of a thought. Here we go. Garcia with a full house backfield. He's been hot in the second half. Led the Centurions to 2 second-half scores to tie this game. He's going to throw on first down, too. He's got a man open. Brighton, touchdown! Boom! Right away! Derek Brandon, touchdown!
It's decision time. We have decision time.
You go for 2 or kick it and do this again. They're going to kick it.
They're going to kick it and do it again. and they're going to lose our broadcast. They can't do this.
That's too easy. We played 4 quarters with 4 touchdowns being scored. We get 2 more in seconds.
And let's not forget, extra points are not automatic. Requires a good snap and a good hold, in addition to the kick.
The snap, the spot, the kick. They're even again, 21-all. Dole under pressure. Credit due to Rory Collette. What a nice hold. Low snap.
Absolutely. Good hold. And while the football players are not battling the clock, we, the broadcasters, are.
21-21. The Centurions from Los Angeles knotted with Metro Miami. They'll do it again at the other end of the field this time. They trade ends, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Game. My hat's off to the Los Angeles Centurions for fighting back in the second half after being down 14-0. It would have been easy to quit, but they did not do it. And both sides have played very nicely today here, Paul, and it's just been a real big success in every way.
An overwhelming success is Garcia, who went to Brandon right out of the backfield to open overtime, throws the timing route, and it's caught for a touchdown. Kenny Moore catches it for a touchdown. In overtime, Garcia with 2 touchdown passes in 2 snaps. Unbelievable. Tom Osborne would be awfully proud.
This is like an NBA game, coast to coast, right?
Bird from 3 and
magic, coast to coast, right? Bird for 3.
Here we go. Dole to add the extra point.
Again, these extra points are not unimportant. Don't take them for granted. This could be the difference.
Awaiting the snap from center. It's good. 28-21. Garcia with the touchdown strike. Dole the extra point. Now if I could lean out there with you, Bob, and yell, hurry, hurry, hurry.
That's right.
And decide something. Go for 2. Do what you have to do.
Taking a look at Nate Coons, it's up to that man. What do you think he's feeling right now, Paul?
The pressure of winning the toss, as you said, and electing to put the other team first.
He's saying right now, guys, I know you're hurting. I know the old muscles are aching, but let's get it up one more time. Let's go for it.
Does he come out throwing right away, as he did? He took but 1 toss and threw to Heller. He's checking off at the line of scrimmage.
Checking off at the line of scrimmage.
We're in overtime. He saw something. He gives it off the left side, and it's a gain of about 4 to Tyrone White. They'll have 4 snaps to get it in. Lopez makes the catch. If they fail to get it in, it is LA, which has rallied from a 2-touchdown deficit to win the 6th annual Pig Bowl in overtime.
They sure have. They've played like champions here in the second half and third half.
And we are due to disappear momentarily from the satellite screens, but our producer, Tom Hastings, is a stallion right now, buying us time for your enjoyment. Again under center. And throwing. Incomplete. No flag, as Nat was looking for James Shannon. And Shannon was defended by George Lopez.
Nate tried basically the same ploy that Randy Garcia was successful with a moment ago. The difference was there was excellent coverage. The cornerback had inside position, and while there was some bumping going on, there certainly was no interference because he had positioned himself very nicely on the inside. Did not allow the receiver to get back inside to the ball.
Nat, Kuntz, and Miami have called timeout, and for us viewers, I don't realize that they know the damage they've just done. I would hope not. I now know what it feels like to have broadcast the Heidi game between the Jets and the Raiders exactly
Oakland
20
Raiders.
Years ago.
That's right.
It was. For that same year,
absolutely.
Joe went on to
That's right.
play so well here.
They don't know that they're out of timeouts.
I think I will come over here early tomorrow morning, being an Alabama man, and toast a glass of champagne at midnight to Joe's honor. Mark the 20th anniversary.
You know, we have an MVP balloting here yet, and so far I have to give it to Tom Hastings for massaging the satellite to keep us on afloat.
Yeah, he's read Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal. I promise you.
Big play here.
Third down. Coons trailing by a touchdown in overtime. Throws incomplete. We got one more play. Coons is down to his final card. And it's timeout again, asked for by Miami. Kuntz will call for it.
The coach has called for it. I don't know about Nate. Yeah, there it is. One more timeout.
Miami led 14-0 at the half. Randy Garcia directed LA to 2 second-half touchdowns. We stood tied 14-0 at the end of regulation. That it was Kuntz to Heller on the first play of overtime. The kick good by Martinez. And then for LA, Garcia to Brandon. The kick good as well. That tied us at 21. And then Garcia again in double overtime, firing to Kenny Moore. Dole with the extra point. That's where we stand now. It is 4th down and 7 for Kuntz and company. The decision made at the sideline. Here he comes with the play that will either make or break Miami's Magnum Force. And it's going to have to be a tremendous score.
2 months of sweat and pain boiling down to one play. 4th down, 7 yards to pay dirt.
This has been enjoyable. It really, really has. 4th and goal, last down. Regardless of what happens, this is all we're going to be able to break.
Maybe last down.
Kuntz on the option. Off the reverse, Terratola does not get in. Los Angeles has won. The Centurions have rallied to beat Metro Miami. What a road win for Bob Kuchenberg and Joe Rose. I'm Paul Kennedy saying so long from Miami. Tomorrow, the Vols and the Seminoles join us at 2:30. See you later, everyone.